Awesome. Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of How to Change the World. Because hey, here at The Revolution, we know that that's what God's called us to do, to go into all the world, make disciples, bring hope, and see people's lives change and see our world change. And I'm here with an absolute legendary revolutionary. We have
Samuel Woodfield.
Samuel Woodfield. Which hub do you represent, Sam?
Point Shiv!
But yeah, there's obviously some really exciting things that happened at Point Shiv, and a whole lot of it is to do with this amazing team and an awesome hub. But I know that you had some really cool things to add to the move of God that happened in that hub.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Last year, we had like around 15, 20 regulars. Yeah. And I really felt during Summer Evo that I needed to just change some stuff up. And I felt God gave me some courage to step out more. And I made some new friends, which doesn't happen often.
There you go. God works miracles. If you need friends, hey, hit up Sam Woodfield on Instagram and he'll pray for you.
Yeah. So that I felt, that seemed like a God moment in itself. Like, I had a bunch of new people, and actually I thought to honor God, I would try my hardest to bring them closer to God themselves. And that seemed hard. Because like you get a new friend group and you're like, these people have been friends since intermediate, like you're the odd one out. But actually I just made it clear that I was Christian, and I made it clear that I went to youth every Friday, and like 3 or 4 months in, I had been inviting people, and like 3 people would come once for like a social night. And then just out of nowhere, like 6 people were like, yeah, well, let's go. And like started with one person, like, hey, this person's going, do you want to come? And just 6 people, and then the next week 7, next week 9. And we just kept like growing. And like sometimes it wasn't even me inviting the people. Like it was the people who I had invited who hadn't given their life. They're just normal schoolmates, and they were inviting people to come to a Christian thing even though they weren't Christians themselves.
That's amazing.
So that was really cool. And like I know that some of them would only come for a couple weeks and wouldn't come back again. But I know that environment has planted a seed in their life that they might reap in like 10, 15 years.
Well, I guess, like our job is to, we're not the ones that are saving people. We're not forgiving anybody's sins. And in the Bible, Jesus says, like only God can forgive, only God can do that stuff. But we do have a part to play, and that's just helping people to get into the room. So you probably hear your leaders and your hubs and people, and you constantly hear like, invite your friends. But that's because, as you found out, that as we invite our friends, as we bring people into an environment where they can encounter God, like that actually changes their life and it changes their world. But that's not always easy to hear, right? It's like when you used to hear, invite your friends, like what did you think?
It just felt like I had a natural filter to it. Because I'd been going for like 2 or 3 years at this point. And like it was just, invite your friends, cool. Like each week, cool. Like it never sunk in, like, actually get off your lazy ass.
I don't know if we can say that.
And
like a donkey, get off your donkey,
Get off your donkey, sorry. And actually like trust in God and have some courage, and it's not easy. I was sweated.
Sweating. Yeah.
I was sweating a lot. Like
Yeah.
these are new friends, people who
Yeah.
could judge me,
Yeah.
and I actually didn't expect it to go well. To be
Yeah.
honest, I thought it was gonna go badly, and then it went well, and I was like,
Yeah, so it's like, you know, because you had this conviction at Summer Rev of
Yeah.
being like, no, God's doing these awesome things in my life. You know, everybody eats. Like, you know, I need my friends to experience this as well. I need other people to experience it as well. And then you stepped out, and, you know, when we step on what God says, you know, it's God that comes through, and that's what you found, right?
yeah.
So what was the, you know, anytime you do something hard, you actually need a good reason to do it.
Yeah.
And so what was your reason to actually get over yourself or, you know, push through those feelings of what will they think, will they like me, all of that stuff? Like, what was it for you that made you decide, you know what, like, I'm going to go push through and invite people?
Yeah. So originally I had these friends. I really enjoyed hanging out with them. I was really happy. Like, I felt comfortable. I felt like every day was, you know, it was pretty cool being able to wake up, go to school, see my friends. But then I realized, like, in the broad scheme of things, life is short and heaven is eternal.
Yeah.
And to think that I have these friends who are making my everyday great is cool and all that, but they won't, like, if I don't reach out and if I don't, like, invite them to youth and get them into environments where God moves, then, like, am I, like, sorry.
No, you're
Like, is that fear that the people who I love are not going to be with me in heaven?
Wow.
And so it, like, made me think a lot about, like, worth and like what like eternity. That is, it's kind of hard to think about sometimes, because all the time you have a set amount of time. You have a year, you have 10 years,
as well.
like 4 years of uni, 2 more years of school. Like, it's easy to put a box around time, but eternity is something that you just can't put in a box, because it's just massive, and it's still kind of
it's really
blows my mind. Yeah.
And so you kind of like, hey, it's either this moment of potential embarrassment for, you know, my friend's eternity.
Yeah.
You know, this potential of, like, a moment's embarrassment, but really, I know God's got my back and He's going to come through, and that's the price I'm willing to pay because of my friend's eternity is at stake, my school's eternity is at stake, people's eternity is at stake.
Because if I just, like, try and seed is planted, and then they don't want to be friends or something because, like, or he's the weird Christian, then at least I feel like I did my part. Like, I feel like I did my part in a possible salvation in the future. But then it went even better than the worst outcome. No, better than the worst outcome, of course. And, like, not only did I get to keep these amazing friends, but also I brought them to God, and, like, 6 of them have given their lives.
That's
and
crazy, man.
Like, I am so much closer to them now. Like, I used to have this philosophy of school friends and church friends. Because, like, in my brain they didn't mix. And, like, my church friends would be the people at youth, and my school friends would be the people I see at school. But actually, I was a lot closer to my church friends, and like that kind of wasn't fair. Like, actually, I kind of brought them together, and like now I'm super close with a bunch of my school friends, and like it's really amazing seeing like what happened because of a leap of faith.
Yeah, that's awesome, you know, and it's so cool to hear, you know, because of that step of faith that you took, you know, there's 6 people, like I said, whose eternities are completely changed. You know, 6 for now, and who knows, you know, the seeds that have been planted. You know, Jesus talks about the parable of the sower, that he kind of just scatters seed and it goes in different places, and some in hard places, some in great places, and it grows straight away. Some kind of starts and it, you know, the weeds get it and all that stuff. But I love that, you know, the responsibility is to throw the seed, is to invite people. And you know, that's our heart, and that's why at the Revolution we encourage them with like, hey, invite your friends. Not because, like, yeah, we want to see this thing grow, but the reason we want to see this thing grow, the reason we want to see a whole bunch of young people at uprisings, at super hubs, at hubs and e-groups, all of this stuff is because we know that this stuff is the thing that actually matters, because it can change people's eternities. You know, we're not just changing the world for the moment, we're actually changing the world forever. Yeah, and I just want to encourage you guys as well. You know, just you know, weigh up the costs of what it might cost you. You know, it might cost you embarrassment, it might cost you shame, it might cost you rejection. But whatever the price is it worth, you know, your friend's eternity? Is it worth seeing your family restored? Is it worth seeing your family, you know, find hope, your school find hope? And, you know, and that's kind of where we're going to leave it today. Just a challenge, and there's a whole bunch of questions for you guys to go through and work with your hubs as well. I hope your your e-group leaders got some food going for you. But other than that, that's it from me and Sam, and we'll see you next time.